are real nation building projects, like that have a national registry, for example, for vaccines and things like that, right? And that's the scientific paradigms, right? Not the magical paradigms of industry elites, right? And I say, and industry, yeah, resources exist. I mean, often we extract too much to live a particular lifestyle that we know is accelerating climate change and the Anthropocene, and that's another subject. But, like, for example, the way I define learning specialist and the way I named my file is I guarantee you can observe me acting like this is nation building for Canada if it wanted to prove to me that it's not a devolving proto society of underdeveloped institutions that are socially underdeveloped and operated by people that are psychologically underdeveloped is they would say, okay, Martin, design a program where you train others and you'll supervise and you'll have oversight and you'll make sure they're steady in this way for a long time and it's well defined so that if I go away and I can't oversee anymore, at least the definition is there. This is how a learning specialist acts. These are their polymath specialties. And of course, the training would take multiple semesters because it relates to life skills coach, it relates to mental health, it relates to the reality of the human condition. So we have to admit, that these learning specialists would be working within broken systems, right? Broken institutions. And so they have to be culture repairs. It's in the definition, right? To role model transparently the things that need to be done to fix or reinvent, or when it collapses to create better and not go through the same cycle again. But it admits also things like that we suffer from domestication. We rarely have the courage to deviate from that, even when sometimes we have the wisdom to know that's not the right response. I don't want to deviate from the norm and have my own smarter response, right? People won't do that. They need courage with the critical thinking. There's also the intellectual laziness. And then there's also the fact that this is not, like doing a practicum where you're teaching a subject in front of a classroom and you're using the technology available and that you have evaluation assessments that make sense to the lessons. It's not that. That's what certified teachers that regurgitate do. They're not trained as learning specialists, and they would be because they're such rebels to learning. Certified teachers is they would be the biggest obstacle for learning specialists to have to deal with in these educational institutions when they go to work after this training. So that would be if we really cared about nation building.